Alrighty, welcome back to another trade recap. Today I ended up taking this small little short up around $350 across all of my accounts, all of my funded accounts. And unfortunately on my Alpha Futures funded accounts, I ended up getting stopped at break even. So would have been up more across all of my accounts, but ended up getting stopped out at break even, but up around $300 across all of my Apex accounts. So kind of want to just run through what I was really wanting to see, what ended up happening, and I ended up taking this on MMQ. Only took this with 3 micros because volume was absolutely fucking insane. We were literally moving like prime meme coins back in 2024. It was actually insane. So coming into market open, I was leaning a bearish bias. However, we were very choppy, but I was leaning bearish bias on the higher time frame. We ended up having this huge sell-off move. Obviously, we have been selling off all this week. We ended up opening this unfilled 4-hour right here. We have generated buy-side liquidity above us, as well as we tapped this 4-hour, and we are respecting bearish as of right now. Now, we have this bullish SMT down here. Now, I was expecting for this to just cause a rebalance, which we ended up doing, and then going lower, right? So I was still bearish bias coming into market open, but when we look at the 15-minute, and let's go into replay mode so we get like a really good look at it. This is what we walked in on. This is what we opened our computer to. A bunch of just chopping in this range, nothing really to look at, nothing really standing out to me. We're kind of just chopping this range. So coming into market open, I knew I was going to be patient, and I knew I was just going to wait and see what happens because there's nothing being shown to me right now. There's absolutely no structure whatsoever. We have this generated sell side and this generated buy side, but nothing's been taken. So I just have to be patient and wait for something to be taken. But like I said earlier, I was leaning bearish just because of higher time frame order flow, but that does not mean that I can take, that I have to take a short. I can take a long when I'm still bearish bias. Now, like I said, didn't really have like a bias on the lower time frame as far as like what I wanted to see in order for me to take a trade. I was kind of just being all pure reactive, which is something that I don't really like to do. But again, there was just no structure. I had to wait and just be patient. So at market open, we ended up selling off. And at this point in time, I thought we were going to go take Asia for sure. We had really good displacement. We had already kind of took this internal low. We had respected a higher time frame inefficiencies and got below this 1-minute change. I thought for sure we were going to go to Asia. But on this very next candle, we ended up having this, I'm pretty sure it was it was a 145 point candle. So back to the meme coins of fucking NQ. Like a 140 point move is very high volatility. So at this point in time, I'm staying patient. I'm not really looking for anything. I'm not trying to trade this high volume. We end up opening up this huge 1-minute for value gap right here, right? So at this point in time, I'm kind of just waiting, seeing what market's going to do when we tap it. We end up tapping this, and we end up making our way with really good displacement, getting below it. Now, I knew that this was going to go to Asia. When we ran this for value gap, I knew it was going to go to Asia. Reason being, we end up taking this internal high, and we also end up putting in an SMT with London high, right? So we have an SMT and we have our manipulation. Now, if we take a look over at ES right here, and we put on our little S&D profile, we can see that London high was taken, right? So now we have an SMT with ES, a bearish SMT. So there's more structure here. So once we have that SMT and we immediately run that 1-minute for value gap, I take a short. Now, the one thing that was a little scuff was I was just targeting Asia low. That's what I was confident in. And my break even was at this internal low right here. This is where my break even was. And I was targeting Asia low. Now, obviously, since you guys are not retarded, my RR, if I were to have my stop up here, which is normally where I would have my stop, right? Because this is where I don't expect price to go. But that's like negative 0.3 RR. which is pretty dog shit. So I kind of just go on a hinge and really just say to myself, it's like, okay, I'm confident in the trade, but if I get stopped out, I get stopped out and I'm done for the day. Like there's no re-entering because volume is just so high. And I took this with very low size. I was risking around like $300. So very, very low size. And we end up getting really good displacement. We end up hitting our break even very, very quickly. And like I said, on my alpha accounts, because I trade my Apex accounts on TradingView, and I have them copy traded on TradingView, and then my alpha accounts I have on Trade So I ended up entering this a little late on my alpha accounts, and my fill was like down here. So on my alpha accounts, I unfortunately ended up getting stopped out at break even on the little wick back up. But on my Apex accounts, the very next candle, we ended up hitting our take profit fairly quickly. So that was my trade that I ended up taking today. Super, super clean, super simple. And really, I'm all around happy with it. The only thing that was risky going into the trade, but the important thing is that I accepted the risk, is where my stop was. My stop was in a place where we could easily go and stop me out, and the model would for sure not be invalidated. But again, the model was so clear that I was completely fine with risking low capital and basically seeing what happens. So yeah, that was my trade that I ended up taking today. Again, I'm up $300 across all my Apex accounts. Ended up unfortunately getting stopped out at break even on my Alpha Futures accounts, but that's just the name of the game. I'm taking my money and I'm leaving. So I hope you guys enjoyed this trade recap. I hope you guys learned something from this, and I hope you guys caught a dub today as well. We got one more day today, or 2 more days. It's Wednesday. I thought it was Thursday. Shit. We got 2 more days this week. Let's see if we can end up the week up a lot of fucking money. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next one.